to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News & World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 20 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.
Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where we're here for the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference Men's Soccer Championship game. It's going to be between the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers and the Transylvania Pioneers tonight. I'm Dustin Jorgensen. I'm joined here by Eric Brown, our expert official, and Ron Kernicki, the man with the invisible backpack. He's back in the booth tonight. So, gentlemen, it's going to be an exciting game. Rose-Hulman finished the season at 8-0-1, and Transylvania finished at 8-1. Their only loss was a 3-0 defeat to Rose-Hulman. What's that say about tonight's game?
We were joking about it ahead of time and, just talking about with regards to, Transy and how they're going to approach the game. And if I were that coach, I would have watched the Hanover game tape, because Hanover is one of the few teams that scored on Rose-Hulman this year, and it's one of the few teams that actually drew them in a regular season. So if I'm Transy, that's what I'm doing. I'm watching how they did it. I'm watching how they man-marked. I'm watching how they covered and even countered. Rose-Hulman, what has worked for them all year is going to continue to work. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You think, Ron?
I think that everything is off the table now. Because what you're coming in this game, it's going to be whoever has the biggest heart is going to win. I agree with you. Watching that Hanover game is going to give you some insight, but it's all going to come down to how hard you were training, how hard you prepare, and
what can we do to make things happen. It's going to come down to biggest heart for sure.
Yeah, and whenever you compare the teams on paper, the game that they played, sure, Rose-Hulman won 3-0, but whenever you look at it on paper, during the regular season, Rose-Hulman outscored its opposition 32-5. Transylvania outscored their opposition 25-6. So both teams very good on that front. Rose-Hulman's leading scorer, Takiozo Kelly, 8 goals this season, while Transylvania is led by Mitchell Crispin with 7 goals. When you look at overall the points, Crispin has 19 points on the season, Kelly at 20. So just really even whenever you're looking at that. And you look at the goalkeepers, Rose-Hulman led by Evan Hofer, 5.5 goals against average, 11 saves with a .733 save percentage, where Transylvania, Gino Arena, 5 shutouts, .67 goals against average, and 16 saves. So when you're looking at it on paper, I think it's hard to kind of differentiate, but you go back to the head-to-head matchup where Rose-Hulman took it 3-0. And as you said, Eric, Rose-Hulman, what they've been doing is working. So why if you're Coach Hellowell, would you even think about doing anything different?
Well, and I wouldn't. Maybe you tweak things here or there in regards to, again, we talk about whether Fix is going to go wide and move up, or whether Urban's going to go wide and move up. So do you use left or right flanks? How do you do that? And so do you drop Kelly back and create space for someone else? I think he'll make minor tweaks like that, but that 3-4-3 has been working for him. I don't know if Transy has an answer for it. We'll see how they come out.
So this is, he tells me today before they're running 3-4-3, which is, obviously, I love that 3-4-3 system of play. My big question, are they running a man in that 3-4-3, or are they going a little bit zonal? And how do they anticipate in that? The beautiful thing about a 3-4-3 is its accountability. That whole system, if one man fails or loses a mark, that whole thing is going to collapse. So, if they've been success, I don't anticipate that happening. I think it's going to come down to set pieces, where you're going to see an early score and right out of the gates. And any mistake is going to make the game.
Yeah, and I think, when you talk about that accountability with the 3-4-3 and how can they run that so effectively, just look at Coach Hellowell. I think, you talk about somebody that's been here for
Yeah.
13 seasons and built a program. I was looking before the game at some of the stats for Rose-Hulman, and the impressive thing. We talked about how deep the bench was when we were at that Earlham game. And you look, and Rose-Hulman has had 25 players this season, and they've only allowed 5 goals. And that was what was so beautiful against that Earlham team, was the entire starting lineup was pulled out for that second half. And basically your second team was in, and they still outscored a conference opponent 3-0 with essentially their B team. And that's where you just look at Rose and you think, okay, that comes down to coaching. You're able to recruit, you're able to get players to come to this school.
Absolutely.
And a very academic school at that. So they care about more than just playing soccer.
Well,
they
you
care
kind of
about their
nailed it by
academics
saying the
first.
second team. I mean, that's everything, because your training atmosphere just went up 3 notches. Because if you've just got a first team and a few subs, you don't really have that competitive nature internally. By having that second team, the internal competitiveness is just going to be fantastic.
And I think that's what's interesting when we've looked at, kind of just the rosters of the teams that have played here at Rose-Hulman this season. They almost look like they're half as large as what the Engineer rosters are. So it is something that Coach Hellowell has built. He allows that to happen, and it definitely works in the Engineer favor. So with those things being said, we'll come back with some more individual stats as we get set here for this championship game between Transylvania and Rose-Hulman.
In Searcy, Arkansas, a young man says I love you for the first time, but his girlfriend doesn't quite hear. In Franklin, Tennessee, a boy encounters his first pickle. And in Kyle, Texas, after a mission for tots, cousins realize they're a long way from Kyle, Texas. One day, many people, millions of orders. This is Howie Sonic.
At A Plus Printing, we do it all. Screen printing, business printing and documents, printing for weddings and senior announcements, screen printing of hats, shirts, sports teams, and uniforms, promotional items of all kinds, including koozies and coffee mugs. You name it, A Plus can print it. A Plus Printing in Brazil. You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome back here to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where we get set for the HCAC Tournament Championship match between Transylvania and Rose-Hulman, and we're getting set here with the starting lineups for both teams. So, with that, we'll be right back.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
Oh, heaven.
So you think chicken is heaven?
Oh my gosh, it's yes. I love that the bun's toasted and the chicken's cooked to the crisp. It is perfect. Chicken slinger.
Heaven in my mouth.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back here to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. That was just a little teaser before that quick break for the starting lineup. Now, we're getting set here for the starting lineup for both teams. For your visiting Transylvania Pioneers, in goal, number 98, Gino Arena. Number 3, Tyler Dobbs. Number 4, Peyton Netherton. Number 9, Max Nussbacher. Number 10, Jeremy Mason. Number 12, Hunter Little. Number 14, Zach Hill. Number 19, Jack Birdsong. Number 23, Alec Coombs. Number 24, Garrett Dean. And number 33, Mitchell Crispin. Starting lineup for your Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers. In goal, number 0, Evan Hofer. Number 10, Brevin Lacey. Number 14, Ryan Tarr. Number 19, Eric Kirby. Number 4, Matt Fix. Number 7, Caleb Urban. Number 9, Andy June. Number 18, Wyatt McKibben. Number 20, Zach Buvelich. Number 24, Takizo Kelly. And number 28, AJ Yilmaz. So guys, as we look at these starting lineups and you look at the history between Transylvania and Rose-Hulman, just the history of the programs themselves in HCAC tournaments and champions, Transylvania has won 10 regular season championships in HCAC history and 11 conference tournament titles. Rose-Hulman with 7 regular season championships and 5 conference tournament titles. Each title that Rose-Hulman has won has been since Coach Sean Hellowell has arrived as a coach, which we talked about just a minute ago.
Yep. It says a lot about Coach Hellowell and the program that he's built. I think, you know, when you come to college, it's not so much necessarily about the legacy, because you don't have players that are here for 8-10 years. What you do have is a reputation and an expectation, and that's what Coach Hellowell has built with Rose-Hulman and the soccer. And that's what you see with the depth of their bench, and that he's built a program that people want to be a part of, and that is what makes it special.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Brad Howder from DePaul had coached here before Hellowell showed up. I think there might have been a coach in between that. But interestingly, Brad Howder at DePaul runs a 3-4-3 as well.
Really?
Yes. There you have it.
Yep.
And as we get set here for kickoff, just a reminder that we are the Indiana Sports Network, and today's game would not be possible without our sponsors, so we'd like to thank them: A+ Printing, Farm Bureau Insurance, Micah Bonomo, Goshen H&R Block, Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, ServPro, Shaw Chiropractic, Sonic Drive-In, Union Health, and York Automotive. Transportation for Indiana Sports Network is provided by York Automotive, with 5 locations in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. And the camera operators for today's game are Paige Lockmiller, Kanan Harper, and Braxton Sampson. And the director and executive producer is Tony Harper.
Good stuff, Georgie.
Yeah, you're welcome. Put that in your backpack, Ron.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it there. So right out of the gates, man, you see the 3 up top. They're pressuring almost in a pressure cover balance situation, and that's when a 3-4-3, or really any 3 up top, but it's specifically in a 3-4-3 situation, those 3 forwards, is imperative that they press the ball together as a team unit. If they don't do that, that kind of allows that back line to just have their way, and you're taking that away with those 3 up top like that, applying that pressure.
We've seen that all season from Rose-Hulman. A lot of pressure up top from your forwards, doing a wonderful job, and then out wide, you got Matt Fix and Caleb Urban all season. They're exactly where you expect them to be. You don't have to even look up. They're there. Andy June with the cross.
Great turn by June to
get
that ball across. It's a little bit too much on it. Eight had a little bit of extra Wheaties this morning and just shot it wide.
Good step over to make that turn, too. He let the defender think he was going to drop into play. Good step over and turn and beat him, and he got a lot of space from that as well.
And Transylvania here with a goal kick. Headed out by Matt Fix.
It's almost as if Transy's running a 4-2-4. They've got almost a flat 4 up front, flat 4 in the back.
You can see it's a man-to-man situation here for Rose, though. It looks like they're running a flat back 3, but their mid lines are tracking these guys man-to-man, which is which is really fun to see play. That's where that accountability comes in.
Well, and what you do is you spread the field that much. Look how much space there is in the midfield. You got Urban, and then I think that's Lacey.
Yep.
And McKibben
That's good
now.
pressure by Transylvania there.
Yeah.
Good step.
And Rose-Hulman recovered. Just give the ball right back to Transylvania.
Got to find feet there. Right idea.
Fix settles.
I think one of the differences we're seeing with this Transylvania team as opposed to the regular season is they are pressing high, really putting that back line under pressure. And it's going to be up to the engineers to play out of that, and you do see the space here.
See Ryan Tarr.
I'm kind of seeing Transylvania in a 4-3-3 where they've got the holding 6 player, the back 4 using wing-back situations, a central 8, and an attacking mid-10.
Ulich.
That was a good feed. Found that channel.
June drops it back to Fix. To Vuvelich. Kelly drops it back.
You got to have a hit there.
Eric Kirby.
You got the space, pull the trigger.
Yeah, June was flagged offside, came back on. Official let play continue.
The rule on that is that if it was intentionally played by the defender, that technically it's not offside. I think that's what the center saw and waved the flag off. But I do agree he was off, but it was intentionally played by the defender.
Brevin Lacey out to Urban. We've seen this before. And Transylvania able to settle into the goalkeeper's arms.
Rose is having some success on the right-hand side. They're able to penetrate down into that corner. If they keep doing that, they're going to find the net.
Yeah, we found that throughout the year that Caleb Urban working that flank has worked really well. But the funny thing is, Ron, when they lock him down, Matt Fix is just as equally effective over here on the left.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sort of deceiving. You know, one of the thoughts that crossed my mind coming into today was obviously really good matchup, but sometimes you want to give a team a false hope. You know what I'm saying? You want to set a deceiving pocket for them and make them think they've got something there. Sometimes that means you're just dropping or laying relaxed and trapping them once they take advantage of that. I'm not seeing them do that. Either team's not doing that at this point.
Transylvania keeping the ball alive. Headed back in. Rose-Hulman, everybody back in the box on defense.
Good defensive stand by Rose there. That could have been troublesome.
Trying to clear their lines now.
Long cross, Transylvania with the header. Hofer lays out and catches it right in his arms.
That
Good
is a
save.
beautiful ball, targeted. I mean, you don't get much more targeted than that.
They waited.
Well placed on the header, and Hofer just a great save. June tries to run it down.
Beautiful save.
So that's actually going to serve as a wake-up call for Rose-Hulman. I don't think Transylvania had that much opportunity in the original or the regular season game. Well played by the Pioneers.
Yeah, and Rose-Hulman's defense has been stellar all season. So even, just a shot against Hofer has been a rarity in some games. And it's going to go against Rose-Hulman.
Frustrating.
That's interesting. He's in a 3v1 situation there, and he had a drop angle. I didn't see any other angle play from Rose on that one.
Whenever we look at Evan Hofer in a stat, you're talking about a wake-up call. He's only had to make 11 saves all season. So you're talking through 9 games, a goalkeeper who the worst you've had is a draw, 11 saves overall the whole season.
Well, and brilliantly, they countered after he picked up that ball. They got out of there quick. He didn't hesitate. They found the other. I mean, within 2 seconds, they were in the attacking third.
Yeah, you watch them, on their warm-up, their goalkeeping warm-up was pretty stellar, and you really saw the goalkeeping coach working with Hofer on their distribution and making sure that he was ready to play that ball out of the back. They were expecting to have some shots this evening. I think when you're in a conference championship game, of course you're going to expect that.
Yeah, they're attacking with everybody as well. they've got even their 3-back. I mean, they're holding their central. Their 4 is hanging at the midline, but their 2 and their 3-backs are pushing up into the attack. I noticed our left 11 is running into the attack heavy, and then here we go. I mean, this is just magnificent. There's a lot of confidence in this team to do this.
And that was number 20, Zach Buvelich with the cross. Tried to find Andy June. And Eric, we've commentated several games here this season. I don't remember seeing Zach play in a game so far this season. I'm sure he probably's got some minutes somewhere, but just not any that we commentated.
No, he's in and he's playing well so far. And I'm trying to think maybe he's in for injury or...
Yeah, I'm looking here at the stat sheet now and seeing that he's played in 5 games so far this season.
Kept out on the deck.
And that may be one of those where, you know, in training and in practice, he may have really looked like he was on fire, and coach said, yep, we're going to give you a shot in the conference championships.
You can see Brevin Lacey now pointing up in the air. He wants Kirby to send this one high. McKibben,
oh my goodness,
tried to clean that one up just over the top.
Back to the net, turn and shoot. I've seen you make a couple of those, Jorgie, in your time.
I would like to remember when that was myself, to be quite honest. Maybe on FIFA.
No, it actually happened at NHS when we were there. We were playing with the boys, and I just didn't. You pulled the trigger, and I was like, oh, my God. It was a beautiful 20-yard shot with back to the net.
All right. You got a better memory than I do.
You've got to believe it, man. You did it.
Must be that vegan diet of yours.
You know this. I'm like Captain Caveman. I've got so much stuff in my invisible backpack. I don't let it go. I can pull it out, and it's there.
And it's going to be a Rose-Hulman throw. And we were talking to the center official before the match. He was excited about this game because both teams coming into it very clean. Not a whole lot of yellow cards for the season for either team. So kind of what we've seen so far this first 10 minutes. It's been a clean match. Just a couple of fouls here or there. Nothing malicious.
In here, Eric, you know, I was talking about a man-to-man situation, and we've seen that more relaxed there. So it's almost like they can pick and choose when they're gonna press like that, because they had 2 wide open players for Transylvania, and they were able to move that ball from left to right with pretty much with ease.
June running the ball down, not able to get there. Good hustle by June. Here, Coach Hellewell starting to get vocal now, 10 minutes in, trying to adjust his team.
There is a nice run.
All the way to Hofer.
And, you know, possession has been about 50-50. I mean, it's a really good back-and-forth game.
Yeah, they're trading punches. That's a good point.
And here's Fix on the wing. Just drops it back.
Like how Rose is keeping this on the touch and not really trying to go central right away. That was a good tackle.
And Pioneers drop it to the back. They're going up the center. Excellent.
Great player rotation.
A little too heavy by Lacey there. Just lost it. Had Kelly on the run.
Ryan Tarr trying to find Urban on that run on the wing.
That's a pretty good direct ball. I mean, it looked like it was going to go past the inline, but that landed sweet. It had enough backspin to keep it in.
Tarr. Yilmaz with
what
the turn.
What a turn, man.
Well shielded ball.
Foul goes against Transylvania. Here's a set piece you were talking about, Ron.
Yeah. You know, that's so hard to coach, is that kind of a turn with someone on your back with the ball coming. You got to time that perfectly. Wonderful turn. Yeah, I mean, if we find the net here, that this is going to really tighten the screws.
You got Kirby set to take the set piece. Going to be a right foot curler. Kelly, far post. I predicted wrong. Trying to go June on the near post.
Trying to get that height and the head on it.
Well, that's the third set piece they've went for the near post. At one of these times, they're going to have to trickle it out beyond and try and get some cleanup.
Lacey taking the shot.
Yep. You've got to do that a couple more times, and you might have some success. They're keeping it on the deck a lot, too, I noticed. Rose is keeping it down. That sometimes is a coaching point. If you got a really good keeper on the other end, it's pointless to get it in the air, because what's going to happen is if he does catch it, it's going to counter you.
And Lacey tries to head the ball down. Transylvania. The counterattack on. Excellent cross. Nobody there. Hofer. Easy to collect.
A lot of space here.
A lot of space, and it's you keep seeing it, and if Brevin can find that, and his defenders can find that pass, he's got it.
Yeah, you see a different approach on this setup. You talked about the space, but you got Kelly running toward the ball. Previously, you talked about the ball over the top to Urban.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's what Kelly brings, is that man marking, which is going to open that spot.
What a rip by Buvalic, just unable to get it in there. Low-driven ball.
And that was, about 40 out almost, and it had a lot of velocity on it. The keeper could not grab it, couldn't hold on to it.
And then you see the player who took that shot runs all the way back on the counter and chests it down to recover, gain possession for his team. Now
Good
on the run, you got
play.
Matt Fix. There's that direct ball over the top.
That's a beautiful ball.
Fix the cross.
What's AJ going to do with
This
it?
is a trouble ball for
Yilmaz,
Transylvania.
left-footed volley. Urban sends it in.
And that's
Keeper
it. That's it.
fumbles June.
Oh, my Lord.
Unable to make it happen. Transylvania off the line.
Key moment there for Transylvania.
What a chance.
This is just you got two defenders protecting the net. Keeper on the deck trying to keep that out. That was just a huge stop for Transylvania. Love the overlap play there.
Yeah.
Momentum for Rose-Hulman. Andy June collects. Trying to make some happen. Gets a foul. Going to be another set piece.
You're starting to see some frustration now set in for Transylvania a little bit here. They're behind the ball. I think momentum's been on Rose's end here for a little bit.
It has. It's switched the last 3 or 4 minutes, and you're seeing them. They need to gain their composure back.
Eric
You're also
Kirby.
seeing them sit a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent camera work. Look at that. What a shot. Eric Kirby just going to curl this. Find Andy June on the far post.
He's going to find Wyatt McKibben right at the penalty spot.
They went far.
And it goes out. Going to be a goal kick.
So good point though, Eric, on how they, Transylvania went a little bit relaxed. We noticed Rose had some time with the ball, with their back line, moving it from right to left there. Found that direct play, getting them into the corner. They had
you
a lot
saw
of time with the ball.
Ryan Tarr, the defensive senior, going in. He was just right behind June, tried to find the head, unable to make it happen. Lacey wins possession back for the Engineers. Urban sends the ball through to Fix. Headed out, going to be a corner.
The beautiful part about having those 3 forwards up top is you can play direct no matter where you're at on the pitch. If they're going to give it to you, take it.
But Ron, the best thing about these 2 wing backs, both Urban and Fix, is they both have the capability to hit a 40 or 50-yard cross. Switch the field that way. And it's hard to find to put it accurately, and have the strength to get it that far.
Yep, that's a great point.
Eric Kirby set to send this corner in. And it's going to be another Rose-Hulman corner.
These are the gut punches that teams love to just rip into the other team. I mean, you've got the team behind the ball. Momentum's on your side. You just don't want to counter, obviously. So you've really got to find the right ball at the right pace.
And Kirby. This one's going to be an outward swinger.
Yeah, near post again.
And Tarr Going to be a goal kick. Nope. Center official says it's a corner.
That looked tight.
And we talked about the momentum swing. After 10 minutes, they were tied 1-1 on shots. And in the last, 7 minutes, Rose-Hulman's now out shooting them 5-1. Kirby, ball sent in.
There it is.
Lacey.
Oh, jeez.
And I tell you, at shots like
that,
the goal gets enormous. And you think all you have to do is get a touch on it, and it goes wide.
So many games are close calls when you've got a set piece like that and you hit the wrong touch. You take that home with you forever. Just a wrong touch. A little up. Went to the moon on that one. Great pressure here by Rose. They're going to keep the ball here in this attacking half with this kind of pressure for sure.
Excellent footwork by Transylvania. Keep possession.
See,
excellent step. Yilmaz steps right in front. Cheeky little chip. Handball.
So this is the benefit of the 3-4-3. You've got pressure in all parts of the pitch. You're going to be able to keep the ball in your attacking half more when it's applied correctly. You have lots of opportunities, lots of cleanup opportunities. Anytime the other team does get the ball and they try and transition, you've got men and feet there to slow that or delay that, which is a principle of play.
Now you've got Urban adjusting the ball. What are the chances he takes this instead of Kelly?
I think the chances are 0.
We've seen Kelly slot these everywhere all season. He knows how to put it near post, far post. But Urban, he's the one stepping back looking like he's taking it. Kelly's looking like he's going left-footed on it.
But this is where they do the hoodoo voodoo that you do.
Here it is, Urban.
Well defended by Transylvania, though, because he had that ball bent into the upper corner.
Yeah, they weren't buying into the shenanigans.
We've seen that exact same set piece. How many games here for Rose? And usually Kelly's the one taking that shot, not Urban. Same exact setup. Kirby swinging the corner in. Tar headed on.
Beautiful ball.
Zippity-doo-dah, what a header. Almost in.
Zippity-doo-dah. That goes in my backpack, man. I love it. Yeah, that was beautiful header. That was targeted. Fantastic stop by the keeper.
Yeah,
goalkeeper stop. Gino Arena. Great save.
This is going to be another corner.
Another corner.
Yep.
And what you see is Rose-Hulman just frustrating Transylvania one corner after another. They're set all the way back. They've got 11 men behind the ball.
This is where you cannot let your guard down, though. I mean, one good counter and they're going to be really in trouble. So they've got to keep the pressure here.
Yilmaz with the turn.
June. I like he made that choice to put it back in the net.
Revan Lacey just over the top again. You can see Lacey getting frustrated with himself. A couple now over the top.
Yep. Rose had the opportunity to use a drop and switch the field of play with their back line. Decided to turn and put it right back in the box and pull the trigger again. That was a very good choice.
And so often what you see with that, with that formation is you have them wanting to play out to that center back and then reset. And I'm always a fan of keep the pressure on when you can.
Yeah. Yep, especially in the first half. I mean, you can't do it 100% pressure all game long. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to do that. What do we got here, Eric?
So this is going to be obstruction. The ball has to be within playable distance if you're going to shield the ball. And Takeza was trying to get to it. The defender actually tried to shield him from it, but the ball was not in playable position. And that's why the ref called an indirect free kick, which is when his hand goes up like that. It's controversial. I'd have to see a replay. Unfortunately, we don't have that, but I tried. This is quality ref. I know the guy. It's probably a good decision.
Yeah. So direct kicks are usually from intentional takedowns.
Yeah. So what you're going to see is anytime you have obstruction or shielding the ball, trying to keep a player with, it's going to be an indirect. It's not because it's not serious foul play. It's not violent contact. See a direct free kick. It's just more like an offside call.
Kelly trying to win possession back here for the Engineers. Transylvania
the recovery speed by Rose is just outstanding. I mean, they're closing the ball down nicely, which is, you don't see a lot of teams being able to do that, especially in the center part of the field.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily the speed that you talk about. It's just the sheer amount of players on Rose-Hulman who are there. It seems like every time Transylvania turns around, a Rose player is just in the perfect position to put pressure on them.
Not allowing them to breathe. But again, I think that's a shadow of the 3-4-3. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Anson Dorrance runs the 3-4-3 with his women's team. It's just, if you can run it and you've got the feet to run it, by all means.
And the skill, because you talk about the feet, Ron. I mean, look at A.J. Yilmaz even coming over here at the bottom of the circle, and he's playing right wing, and he's playing all the way back and dropping back.
And there's where you and I were talking before the match. We had the left wing there. The number 11 drops back and makes a 4-back line when they need to in that system of play. So it's just a brilliant system of play. Once it's ran perfectly, you can go places with that system for sure.
I think one of the things that you have to look at when you're talking about the 3-4-3 and the ability to play it as a team like Rose-Hulman, an institution that's built on academics, that has a high-quality academics. You got these student athletes that are coming in here with high expectations with themselves. They know what they're doing, high intelligence level. They're able to play a complex system. They know exactly where their counterparts are going to be. They're going to be able to make up. If somebody makes a run, they know just the right angle and how to twist and turn and get back to cover that position and where they need to go.
It's you mentioned the intelligence that comes with this kind of a system of play. Anytime I coach a team, if I don't have a 4-back system, we go to the 3-4-3. But the team usually, if they've never ran it, they just feel deflated right away. You've got to really put a lot of wind in their sails to get them to buy into that system of play. And one of the tricks up the coach's sleeve to get them to really buy into it is to say, look, you've got to be super intelligent to run this system.
Heads up. Hey, turn in face, squad. Hey, turn in face.
And Rose-Hulman looks like you're going to get the free kick here.
Wasting no time.
And you see Urban wide open on that right-hand side.
And Rose just settling the ball down a little bit. Take their time.
Again, we talk about gas tank and legs. That's Kelly, center forward.
Ball won cleanly that time by Transylvania. You started to see Transylvania defensively get a little more aggressive here in the last 10 minutes. They've been upset with a couple of foul calls. They're just playing tough.
No shot. So this last one down here, backtrack about 70 yards, Eric, where the player gets taken out. Usually, I mean, you've ran Central several times. Those are where the fans are just wanting to kill you because you don't make a call there.
Yeah, and you have to judge whether the ball is won first or whether it's 50-50, and then the incidental contact brought the player down. Especially if you're a home, if you're at a home team, it's an emotional decision.
Yep, and a lot of times people are thinking, well, you're calling it this way for that team, but you're not calling the other way for the other team, and it's just frustrating. There's a lot of raw emotion coming from the touchline there. But
and thank God, Rod, because without the fans and that emotions, football would not be what soccer would not be what soccer is. And
I agree.
So I think what we can all say we learned here today is that officials have emotions. Is that correct, Eric? Can you confirm this?
That is correct.
There are people too.
I can also tell you that as players and coaches, you two will take a play home and think about it all the time. Referees do the same thing.
Really? It's
all
good
the
to
time.
know. That's good to know. So you got to do some self-reflecting. What could I have done better?
All the time.
What did I do great?
If you make a mistake, you beat yourself up over and over and over again.
And the thing is, though, you're always going to make a mistake, no matter what. Whether you're a player, a coach, ref, you're always making. And I think people don't. And maybe if you don't need to take that in consideration because then you lose some of that raw emotion. But at the end of the day, that's kind of how we better ourselves by doing that self-reflection. Ooh, tried to sneak it behind him.
Well played by Brother Macy.
Some little possession time for Rose now. So bam, 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 direct. took the foot off the gas there a little bit now and looking for maybe the right shot to take.
Lacey with the ball over the top. Tried to find Urban.
It's almost like watching an well orchestrated band. It's beautiful to watch this Rose team just really have their way with this other. Anytime you watch Rose, they've got that character, that personality about themselves. They're well trained, and it just shows and shines.
I think Rose-Hulman, with that setting sun out towards the west, it looks like Gino Arenas having a little bit of trouble, with the glare.
Yeah, he's got his hand above his eyes there. That's a good point.
And here's another little factoid. The goalkeeper is the only player on the pitch that is allowed to wear a baseball-style cap if they need to.
I actually did not know that.
And really? I got to say, I love to see a goalkeeper in a baseball-style cap. It's a sight to see. Transylvania swinging the ball out wide. Goes out for a throw. You hear Coach Hellowell telling his players to settle down a little bit.
Yep.
Be another throw in here for the Engineers. Fix with the ball in.
He was looking for that little overlapping run for someone to be there and just was not there.
Yeah, and you see that's just an example of the trust that Rose-Hulman has with their teammates. So often they don't even look. They know in this system of play that's where somebody's going to be. And, of course, every once in a while somebody's not there. Rose with the pressure.
Love that pressure.
Does go out. It's going to be an Engineer throw.
Rose really put the protectionisms on there. They had some tariffs. They had like 5 or 8 that were just protecting, anticipating some direct play.
What a run by June in the throw. And Kelly was right there. June appealing the foul. Center official not having it.
Well, I'm going to say that it was a good no call by the official. He played the advantage on that. Had Kelly gotten a leg on that and he'd have blown the whistle, the goal would not have stood, and it was a good no call by the referee.
Transylvania trying to make something happen now.
The balls coming from Transylvania feet right now are just nervous. Everything about their distribution is nervous. They're either going wide or short or shallow, and which then forces you to do something direct like this. No, you don't want them to turn here.
You saw just a glance over his shoulder there, too, by the Transylvania player. Not sure if he was worried Rose-Hulman was putting pressure or if he was waiting for a teammate to make the overlap.
It's the first quarter for Transylvania in the game.
Yeah, that Rose is going to need a really good defensive stand here and not let anything come in. Really looks like Rose is marking zonally in the box here. They're not really tracking player to player.
Urban with the header out.
And an immediate pressure from Rose after the ball is cleared out of the box. Immediate pressure on the ball, and that is just brilliant play. You've got to do that.
And a foul there called on Matt Fix.
I see Jackson Sada for the first time this game. Seen him quite a bit. And Bednarik, I don't think we've seen him yet. He's been a starter in the last couple of games as well.
Transylvania trying to make something happen.
Good clearance by Urban. Just to shore up their lines.
Gonna be a Pioneer throw.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7 again behind the ball for Rose, and not going to take any chances here. It looks like now they got it to their feet.
Kirby, excellent job dribbling
Took on a
through.
3v1 situation like nothing. Love it.
Lacey. Yilmaz with the cross, trying to find Fix.
Again, we talked that switching of the field.
Buvulic to Kelly. Excellent switch to the left. Transylvania, great job collecting that ball. That was dangerously done by Kelly.
He's got him for pace. Yep, I would do the same thing. You're going to find a quick cross here if you don't help yourself out.
McKibben, excellent recovery.
My.
All the way down.
So
really
he's
good
patting his heart. He thought
McKibben.
that was on him inside the box.
Really good recovery by McKibben, though. I mean, he got beat, and then he had the speed to get back and defend that ball.
Yeah, McKibben can laugh that off now, knowing it wasn't against him.
My goodness. Yeah, you don't want to. This is a game you don't want to give something up from a PK for sure. I mean, you have to contend that. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough call if it does go. I like the idea there, just a little late on the support.
Good recovery by Rose. Kelly all the way back.
We have Andy June, the center forward, playing all the way back.
Got it. Nope. Can we switch?
And just settling down a little bit. Tar playing it all the way back to McKibben.
Well, last time Rose had this time, they really made something happen. Transylvania's going to give them the opportunity to make a decision to play quarterback out of the back line. It's going to be bad for Transylvania.
Excellent header by Ryan Tar, just jumping in there.
Yeah, good timing. If he had done it too soon or too late, it could have gone all wrong for him.
And Lacey settling things down, playing it back. Kirby with possession now. To Kelly. And June with the turn. Yilmaz trying to find Kelly and just 6 inches away from being a perfect through ball.
And Transylvania got some time here. You can't give him that time.
Excellent little touch there by McKibben just to play it off to Lacey. Reset things here for the Engineers.
And I say it every game, guys. It's everything goes through Lacey.
Yeah, you've got to have that one target player that can really make things happen, controls the tempo of play, good with his feet, intelligent enough, know when to support the play and find that deep shot.
Great ball over the top. Trying to find Andy June. Good header by Transylvania back. Taking their time now.
Well,
and that ball went
9 minutes
way
left,
up in the
and
air.
Transylvania's trying to pull 9 off the bench, get some fresh feet out there, try and turn the momentum in the dying minutes of this first half.
Sometimes fresh legs works, and then sometimes it just ruins the flow.
Yeah. Well, you get that chemistry. That's a great point, especially with soccer. I mean, you've really got to get chemistry going, and one substitution can just kind of mess anything up there. That's a great point, Eric.
Buvulic with the pressure. And we're going to see a whole bunch of substitutions. Only one for the Engineers. You got number 21, Jackson Seda, entering the game. He does have 3 goals for the Engineers this season, and he has played in every game so far for Rose-Hulman. There's Seda with the header on. McKibben.
Good communication there by Rose, letting him know you got time, and boy, did he ever have time.
And Ryan Tarr playing it to Urban. Little
Good
flick
flick.
to Yilmaz.
Nice one touch, almost on the overlap.
Starting to see Transylvania gain a little momentum here toward the end of this first half.
Yeah, trying to relieve the pressure there. Put a needle in that bubble and let it out.
Transylvania the throw in.
And pressure. That's you got to keep doing that.
And ball went out, it looks like, for a throw.
Unfortunate. Really well played by Yilmaz and Seda.
And Transylvania now looking out wide. Matt Fix. Excellent pressure. Seda on the turn. Yilmaz.
Oh, unlucky there.
Fix. Good patience there by Matt Fix.
Good bit of skill, too.
Yep, how about it? Could have tried to force that, but didn't. Just got the ball back, little quick drag back, flick behind, and find feet.
Tried to find Yilmaz. Transylvania on the front foot.
You know, I was going to say that you see Rose, they're coming to the ball when those passes are being made. Sooner or later, Transylvania's going to figure that out. They're going to start eating up those passing lanes. But when they do, of course, they still got the targeted direct play they can go to.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman just starting to fade on the possession side of things here in the end of the first half. Transylvania on the front foot for maybe the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, they had fresh legs, too. Let's not forget that. I mean, Transylvania put in some fresh feet, and it's going to make it a little tougher on Rose to maintain the possession time.
Off Yilmaz's knee, able to keep the ball, trying to find Seda over the top. Excellent pressure by Seda.
I don't know. You call
that was after the fact. It wouldn't have been called.
So this won't be a PK, though, right? I mean, this is going to be outside the box.
The fact. A red card was given. A red card for the Transylvania player. After the fact, standing over the top of the Rose-Hulman player, knees him in the back, draws the red card.
So in that situation, the coach is going to come over, the referee is going to come over and explain to the coach that is considered violent conduct. There was no reason for it. He could have walked away. The player was in a vulnerable position, and the referee had to make that decision.
This is deflating, not just for the coaching staff, but the boys on it. Now, look, if I'm the coach for Transylvania, I'm livid. I'm just saying. Not saying it's a bad call. Not saying it's a bad call at all. But, man, you're down to 10 now.
Yeah, that was number 14, Zach Hill.
So what you will see is, it seems to me from Transylvania, is you'll just see a much more defensive game because, they're just going to lose an attacking player.
Right. Good point. Yep. And that could turn in their favor. I mean, they've got to find a way to slow down this Rose team anyway, so put some feet behind the ball. Yep.
So Transylvania with the red card against number 14. Again, that's Zach Hill. So Transylvania now going to be playing with 10 men for the rest of this game against Rose-Hulman's 11. Not going to be easy for Transylvania. And I think you got to go back and look at that play, and it was just a terrible, terrible decision, a bad mistake. The foul wasn't called. The original foul.
He has awarded them a penalty.
So they're getting a PK.
They are going to get a penalty.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, see, now this is, and I just heard the coach from Transylvania say, look, I normally, I'm not getting on this, but this is kind of, and I'm sorry, I've got to agree with Coach. I mean, could you possibly go to a yellow there to tame it down? And again, this is your area, so I mean, what's done is done.
He could have. Yeah, he absolutely could have. it's a decision that has been made. The referee saw something. I'm sure that he has an explanation in his head. He hates right now as much as I think everybody else does that a penalty was awarded, a red card was awarded, because you want this game to be 11v11.
Did he go to the AR and say, is this a PK?
Absolutely he did.
Yep.
Yeah, because he wants to make sure, especially in a game like this where it matters so much, and I will shut up now.
And Kelly to take the PK. Slots it home. Left side of the goal. Rose-Hulman now leading 1-0. Kelly celebrating, doing a little dance in front of the fans. So you got to go back, and Eric, I think the explanation that we need here, the play was over. The goalkeeper had collected a ball. The foul was not called on that play. However, both players are still inside the 18. The Rose-Hulman player, Seda, who is going for the ball, and then defensive Zach Hill for Transylvania. They were still both in the box. The ball is in the goalkeeper's hands. Zach Hill knees Seda in the back while he's on the ground trying to stand up. That's where the foul was called. It was after the play. Ball's not there. But is it because the foul took place in the 18 that the PK was awarded?
Yeah, so anytime you have a live ball in the penalty area, and just because the keeper has possession doesn't necessarily mean it's a dead ball. It's still a live ball. He can play it out quick to one of his defenders, etc. Anytime you have a situation like that, and there's a foul, whether it's on the ball or off the ball, and it's in the area, is it a penalty kick?
Interesting.
So, I think what we saw was unnecessary knee in the back. It would be the same thing as cleating someone. It was violent conduct, and that's the difference.
Right. Well,
and you see for the Engineers now number 26, Babacar Diatta into the game. I mean, you just really, it's great from a Rose-Hulman perspective. You get the penalty kick, you're up 1-0. We've been commentating for Rose-Hulman. It's fantastic to see from Rose-Hulman's game perspective. From a fan perspective of soccer, of the game, it's hard to watch something like that because this was an exciting game. This was a good game, and that just completely takes away from the game. It changes the entire game.
Did you want it to be like, yeah, right.
Now you're talking 10v11 for 50 minutes. It's not going to be the same. And then you see again here, Transylvania just sliding in from behind. I mean, they're going to have to be careful now. You've already lost
they got to
one
get their
player.
composure back. I mean, you're not out of this yet. You're going to get, this is a yellow.
It wasn't be a talking to
right.
For dissent. Tempers are high. They want to get through their 4 minutes, get to halftime. Coach can get their composure back. Good job by the referee talking to them, composing them.
And I think part of it too. At this point, you make the foul. Go back. They're continuing to yell and talk, and when you do that to the official, it's not going to help your cause.
Well, Transylvania feels hard done by, and you can understand that.
Kirby, ball over the top.
Love the idea.
Into the goalkeeper's arms.
Yeah, the keeper's. This is smart. He's not trying to. Let's get this back together, boys. Come on, slow down now.
Settle down.
Yeah.
You can see Transylvania's coach now. He's grabbing his board. He's got his field. He's got his markers. He's drawing it up already. He's prepping for halftime. He's got to talk something into his players to try to get them to believe what you're saying, Ron, is you're not out of this yet. There's still, you got 48 minutes left in this game.
Right. Well, I think, like to Eric's point, you got to pull some feet behind the ball now even more. I think you got to go to a 4-2-3 situation maybe and just get rid of your one,
And and then you hope for a set piece, or you hope for a good counter.
Yep.
Which is typically what.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you're getting a set piece from the midline, but that's where Transylvania's got to get their composure back. I mean, they cannot. Surely they're beyond frustrated. They are not on this planet right now, but they've got to find a way to get back down to earth and play this game without all the upset. The play happened. It's gone. It's 4 minutes ago.
And you talked about the emotion earlier, in the players and officials, the fans. That's what makes this game great.
Yeah.
And in a situation like that where the foul occurs, the emotion that the player had that committed the foul, it can just change the game like that. It can, almost ruin a game.
Well, and this is kind of what I've foreseen a little bit of this. It's going to be a set piece that makes the difference. It takes me back 3 years when Rose was hosting against Hanover, I believe, at that time, and PK early in the game put Rose behind 1-0. And then back then we had Webb on the team for Rose, and they had a situation where the game's almost over, dying minutes, and a PK is awarded for Rose, and he skies the top bar, and they miss it. They had a chance to tie it and send it in overtime, and they just couldn't do it. So it's one of those games. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be really tight. You're going to have to, but again, down 10 players, you're going to have to be creative.
And Rose dropping the ball back. McKibben. And you're seeing this now with Transylvania. We didn't see this at all earlier in the half. They've just got a lot of players playing behind the ball now.
Yep.
You know, they're all set up defensively. You've basically got 2 at the top that are ahead of everyone else. And then you've got 7 playing defense.
I think this is where you're going to, if you're Transylvania, you're going to allow the wide play to happen. You're just going to defend wide play, try and head that out and look for a counter. What game was that? I think, Jorgensen, you and I were watching. It was years ago. It was Man City. They were winning the championship no matter what, but the team that was playing them, and I don't recall who it was, they basically just kept everybody, all 10 players in the box the entire match, and ended up winning the game.
Had to be Chelsea under Mourinho.
I can't recall which it was, but it was. I just remember watching, thinking, "This is just insanity," and they literally just camped out in the box.
Yeah, Eric's probably onto something. I'm sure it was a Mourinho team of some type, because that's seems to be their MO.
Well, and when you look at a team, that's infinitely less talented than Manchester City, it's just smart to frustrate them and hope for a counter.
And here, I mean, they're finding their way. They're not out. I mean, this is going to be a great coaching point for Transylvania's coach right now. Look, yeah, we were frustrated. The frustration is what got you in trouble. You lose that composure, and you're going to find yourself in big trouble now. You got to find that be composed, be patient, wait for your opportunity.
And that concludes the very exciting, very emotional first half here at Rose-Hulman in the HCAC championship match between the Transylvania Pioneers and the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers. We are the Indiana Sports Network, and we'll be right back after this.
Anyone. The star student. The all-state athlete. I never thought it could happen to me, that I could lose everything. I found help, I found hope, I found recovery. I regained something lost.
The city of Brazil was founded in 1866. By 1876, there were 2 schools, 7 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 4 churches, and 5 drugstores. One of those drugstores is still there today, Lynn's Pharmacy. Lynn's Pharmacy has grown from a small neighborhood drugstore to a modern pharmacy, offering prescriptions and medical equipment with old-fashioned values and unparalleled service. You can even step back in time and visit Lynn's Soda Parlor
here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
We were choosing colors for the house, and I stopped and looked at Mike and said, "We're really doing this, aren't we?" The process was challenging, but Riddell was there for us every step of the way. The mortgage, closing, they eased our stress. It made sense when Mike said,
"We're really doing this."
Mortgage loans made easy from Riddell. Making friends since 1885.
At ServPro, we offer cleaning services, including the removal of biohazard containments. We have the specialized training and products to get your property back to business. We are here to help get your business back to normal. ServPro in the Wabash Valley, here to help.
If you are an athlete, a farmer, work in the factory, or just work in your own backyard, you need the benefits of chiropractic care. Shaw Chiropractic, located in the Brazil Kroger Strip Mall. Dr. Julie and Dr. Michael Shaw, your friends for chiropractic care.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where we're hosting the HCAC Conference Tournament Championship game between Rose-Hulman and Transylvania. I'm Dustin Jorgensen, joined here by our official expert, Eric Brown. And then the man with the invisible backpack, Ron Kernicki, excited to have him back for a game. And really, I wish we had a lot to talk about. We do, but it's really one specific thing we can talk about. It's when the game changed. It's the penalty kick that was awarded. It was the mistake Transylvania made, kneeing a player in the back off the ball. It was right in front of the official. The official was walking back, plain view. He sees it. You give him no choice at that. At that point, he has to call that. And so, Takizo Kelly, like he does, slots it in, left net. Rose-Hulman's leading 1-0, and now they're playing with an extra man, 10v11.
Yeah, when you look at that play, especially from the officials' point of view, there's a couple of things. What they're going to say is, Transylvania's going to say, well, Seda pulled our defender down. So that should have either been a yellow card or a foul on him. It wasn't given, maybe a 50-50 challenge. The referee will look at that later. But it was the knee in the back. And what people typically don't understand is, from a referee's point of view, there is reckless play, which will deserve a yellow, and there is violent conduct, which is a straight red. And anytime you attack, cleat, elbow, hit any defenseless player like Jackson Seda was, it's going to have to be considered violent conduct. Therefore, it's going to be a red. Ball was still in play. Therefore, it's a penalty kick.
Yeah,
unfortunate for a conference.
Yeah, right. Unnecessary dissent towards another play for sure. The other side, I think, is what if there's no call made there, and you're the coach or the other mates, and you're saying, why did you not call something there? So something like Jorgen said, you had to make a call. Definitely, I guess if I'm Transylvania's coach, I'm like, why is that a PK? And you explained it earlier, but I'm thinking that should have maybe been outside the box. But like you noted, if it's inside the box and that's going down, that's how the call's got to go.
Yeah, and I think Eric made a good point. Transylvania was probably appealing, hey, Seda was pulling him down while he was falling, and so they should have called that initial foul. But anywhere else on the field, and here's where you have to look at it, anywhere else on the field, you play advantage because it ends up in the goalkeeper's arms. They could quickly counter.
Good point.
As an official, you don't disrupt that. You don't interrupt that. So you continue. You allow that to play. So I guess, is that Transylvania's appeal? Okay, you allow that to happen. Now something happens, you should go back for that initial foul. Well, sure, but it doesn't change the red card for sure.
Right. Well, if he had called, so this is where we get interesting. So this is the nitpickiness, and this may be the geek in me. If he had called the foul on Jackson Seda, that would have then been a dead ball. Had the player then acted out with a knee in the back of Jackson Seda, it still would have been a straight red card, but it would not have been a penalty kick because the ball was dead.
Interesting.
So it would have just been, a kick there.
So there's the appeal, maybe,
sure,
that Transylvania has, the coach has, on the Transylvania side. From the Rose-Hulman perspective, as we said, we've cheered on the Engineers all season and excited to see them up 1-0 in this championship match. And it was just, from a fan perspective, you hate to see a game change like it did in that manner. And now, you look over here and you see Transylvania, you see Coach Vogel with his players. He's got the drawing board out. He's not giving up. And I think whenever you're looking at it from a player's perspective, what does that say to you when your coach is not giving up on you as a team?
Right.
You're playing a man down, but your coach still believes in you. He's not letting that determine the game. He's now saying, guys, this is on you. You determine what happens in this game.
How many times at the youth level, or at any level really for that matter, when you're coaching, you always tell the guys or girls, you're not going to – the refs don't see the first call, hardly ever, especially in that physical contact. They're always going to see the retaliation, though. And I think that was kind of a little bit what happened there. But you're right. I mean, he's doing a great job. He's got the board out. He's saying, here's what we're going to do. Keep your composure. Leave it behind you. And let's go forward and get this back. We got to get it back.
So with that, we're going to take a quick break here during halftime. And when we come back, we're going to talk about anything but the penalty kick in that situation. We'll make sure to avoid that the rest of this halftime, and then we'll move on here to the second half.
Chili's first because
Chili's
it's
the star
of it. And then cheese is just there to be like,
I'm gonna lift you up.
It would be nothing without the Fritos and the cheese.
And cheese is like the hype man. Sonic Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap. I got you.
Yeah.
At Union Health, we understand that early detection of breast cancer saves lives. That's why the Clara Fairbanks Center for Women offers the most advanced breast cancer detection available. Tomosynthesis 3D breast imaging. This state-of-the-art technology pinpoints breast cancer at its earliest stages when it's most curable. For you, that means earlier detection. For us, that means being able to give you peace of mind in your health care. To schedule your mammogram, call 812-238-7766. Union Health. Healthier together.
Get a fresh start at York Chevy Buick on US Highway 40 in Brazil. We have fresh discounts on Chevy Silverado up to $10,000 off. Chevy Trax, $87 per month. Buick Encore, $117 per month. Or Chevy Equinoxes up to $6,500 off. It's a new year. Get a new ride at YorkChevy.com. Stop by today and we'll show you why we're not number one, you are.
We're not number one.
You are.
You're number one at York.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
At H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they make sure your return gets done right. It's not just numbers, boxes, and forms. It's personal care, so you get every credit and deduction you deserve. With an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
This is Sue Goshen from your locally owned H&R Block in Brazil. Walk in, make an appointment, or drop off your documents, and we'll tackle your taxes while you're away.
Burger or grilled cheese?
Grilled cheese.
Burger.
I want with crispy tenders and the tots. It's patty. Really fresh. I'm going to try to chow this thing down before I get to the wrapper. Sonic Wacky Pack.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome back here to halftime at the HCAC Conference Tournament Championship game between Rose-Hulman and Transylvania, where Rose-Hulman leads Transylvania 1-0 on the penalty kick from Takizo Kelly. And gentlemen, this first half, we talked a lot about Rose-Hulman's 3-4-3 play. The wing backs, we've talked about them all season, Urban and Fix. A lot of balls over the top, but we saw Transylvania put a lot of pressure on Rose-Hulman late in that first half, prior to the penalty kick. We saw a lot of pressure from Transylvania, and Rose-Hulman just, they didn't quite look as confident there the last 10 minutes with that 3-4-3 and working the ball up. A lot of times, and you had mentioned they were doing the right thing. They were running back to play to the ball, and then Transylvania started to catch on a little bit, and they were getting there a little bit sooner than Rose-Hulman. Ron, you had mentioned that. And then we started to see, the balls over the top, they work a few times, but they're not going to be successful every time. So how does that play into here the second half and how Rose-Hulman approaches the second half?
Well, so I think to capitalize on what you're trying to say there with the 3-4-3 system of play especially, Transylvania made, 5 subs, got fresh feet out there. They were able to close down those passing lanes a little bit sooner. That helped them out. But the beauty of that system of play, once that pressure hits you like that, you've got direct play. And that's what we've seen Rose do. And they hit that direct play. But by then, you've got a really frustrated backline from them. The other thing I would note going into this half, to capitalize on everything, it seems like they came out with they were trading punches as team to team, and then all of a sudden Rose brought out the professor. and they just got really intelligent. And all the runs up top, all of a sudden you've got some astronomical equation that Transylvania cannot figure out how to defend on. So they're going to have to, if they do that again, now down with, they're only with 10 players, they've got to find a way to throw in a variable or so to break up that equation, get the ball to feet, and make some kind of distribution happen for them on the attacking side.
Yeah, so all is not lost for Transylvania, to your point, Ron, is, you're just losing a player, and people say, oh, we're playing with 10 men. You're just losing a striker, right? So it gives you a little bit less of attacking ability, but at the same time, it does, sometimes you see teams continue on strongly, and they play with more desire.
Yeah, and I think, leading up to that, really, the first 35 minutes or so of the game, Rose-Hulman looked a lot better. And they had, I think it was 10 shots to 2 at that point of the game. And then Transylvania started to look a little bit better. They got they had a couple of corner kicks. They didn't have any up until that point. They put a couple more shots on target. They were there. They made Hofer work a little bit. And then, all of a sudden, of course, the momentum changes. But Transylvania was putting some pressure back on to Rose late in that first half. So maybe for Transylvania, they found something. They found that hole that they needed to find, that they wanted to find, to kind of chip away at with Rose. And then Rose-Hulman, of course, they came back. They capitalized with
They're sending targeted balls from 40 out, Transylvania is. I mean, they found the head early on in the match where they just found, good scoop by the keeper, but he had to really work to pick it up.
And they still have the opportunity to find those balls.
Yep.
But they will need a midfielder to step up to fill in that hole, as one of their top two. So, they still have the ability to find that and not get caught out.
Yeah, and to your point, like the first 5 minutes, as you said, it was pretty even, and we saw that back and forth. They were trading punches, I think is the phrase you used, Ron, and, it was 1-to-1 shot-wise, and then the next 10 minutes or so, Rose just came alive, and it was shot after shot after shot, chance after chance for Rose, and then as play just kind of progressed, Rose-Hulman settled in a little bit, and we saw things kind of happen. So we have just a few seconds. We're going to take another really quick break before we come back and get the second half started.
I feel like I'm the good kind of spicy. It means you got an edge. I got an edge.
It means you've got some umph, and I got some umph.
I don't know about your umph, but impatience doesn't equal spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Is it a good umph or a bad umph?
Athletes know that injuries happen. When they do, let our team help get you back to your team sooner. Union Center for Sports Medicine. We prevent, diagnose, repair, and rehabilitate injuries to get you back in the game. Union Center for Sports Medicine.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome back here to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology as we get set for the second half of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference Championship game in the tournament. And as a reminder that we are the Indiana Sports Network, and the sponsors of today's game are A+ Printing, Farm Bureau Insurance Micah Bonomo, Goshen H&R Block, Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, ServPro, Shaw Chiropractic, Sonic Drive-In, Union Health, and York Automotive. Transportation for Indiana Sports Network is provided by York Automotive with 5 locations in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. Camera operators for today's game, giving us some of those beautiful shots that we've seen here. Paige Lockmiller, Kanan Harper, and Braxton Sampson. And the director and executive producer is Tony Harper. And just about a minute underway here in this second half. Throw in for Rose-Hulman.
So tactically, Transylvania has made a beautiful, their halftime talk was great. They're being patient. If they can do that the rest of this half, they're going to have a chance. And if you notice, that they're not falling into the overlapping play. So they have found a variable, at least from what I'm seeing right away, to break up that astronomical equation that Rose has had there.
Diata with the pressure. Yeah, no real changes, doesn't look like, to the engineer team here at halftime. The same players that ended the half are on for the engineers.
what Transylvania does need to, to be mindful of is if you end up chasing the game, there's going to be some tired legs in the last 15, 20 minutes.
No, that's a great point. And I want to see if they do this again. So here, watch. You'll see the pressure. They're going to do pressure cover balance. They're going to run that. So the pressure comes right away, and then they're moving players into the channels to close up that channel. That's what they did here. I'm just curious if they're going to continue to do that, where they pressure the ball, show false hope, and Rose is going to try and eat up that channel, and they're going to scoop it up. You can only do that for so long before Rose will figure it out. But that seems to be what their game plan is at this point.
Urban to Diotta. Excellent little play back to Diotta. Good job by Diotta staying on the ball. Tries to find Urban. Transylvania steps up.
That was a good step to the ball there.
But what I have noticed tactically for Rose-Hulman as well is both those wingbacks are playing really high right now. Typically you see one of them will drift back almost in that modified back four, but both are playing really high. So Rose-Hulman trying to take advantage of that man down and maybe get an extra goal or two.
Well, you're going to take what they're going to give you, right? And again, I think this is where the coach said, look, let's just defend wide play the rest of the game. Let them have the wide play. Let them have their way there. And we're just going to get back. We'll head the ball out to feet and try and counter.
Caleb Urban over here on his near side. Can't see him in the camera shot, but he's starting to sneak up here on this back line, and that's what you talked about. Usually where Tar just collected that's where Urban's at. Now he's all the way pushed up.
They're stepping into those passing lanes again. It's good play by Transylvania. It's good to, as a fan of the game, it's good to see them really recover quickly, and not a lot of teams would come out and just have a really hard time getting it back together.
Rose-Hulman collecting.
You've still got 3 up top here for Transylvania, too.
But then you notice they're quickly dropping back. So, yeah, again, it's a really good – Coach Vogel did a really nice job bringing them out of that.
4-2-3. So they got rid of the 1. That's definitely what they've done.
And you mentioned for Transylvania, head coach Matt Vogel in his 7th season with the Pioneers. Urban on the ball, trying to make something happen there with his feet.
Yeah, a little fake step over, roll over thing, and just couldn't get the right touch to get some velocity on the pass.
Buvelich with the cross.
Yeah, they're going to do that. They're going to keep defending this wide play, finding feet, and then looking to be creative coming out of the back. Build up play. I mean, that's all they're going to have to do is really build up play. Can't force anything because then you're going to find yourself behind the ball again really quick. And they're trying to force something there. I think you're going to be a little more patient coming out of the back if you're Transylvania.
Kelly drops the ball back. And Buvelich now sends it wide to Tar. Diotta.
So they've tried that 3 or 4 times now, and it's just not working out for them. You would think they might, go a different angle.
Transylvania trying to send the ball up.
Yeah, he tried a little flick behind, just to kind of assuming someone's there. They're going to have to close up and compress play up top if they're going to be playing like that.
See number 33, Mitchell Crispin for Transylvania sitting up top. He is their leading scorer with 7 goals, and he's also got 5 assists, their leading assist man. He's playing what I like to play in rec league. You just sit at the top and wait for a ball over the top and try to do it by yourself.
Well anticipated channel run there from number 3.
And a cross in. Parried away by the keeper.
And so this is a situation, Rose-Hulman is awfully flat up front. I'd like to see a little bit more depth, maybe towards the top of the D.
Well, that's a good point. I think you've got to find a central run. You've got to bend the run in central, and then try and take the line with you when you've got a lot of defenders there to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And once those lines start to drop, you're pulling the lines as an attack. Even with movement without the ball, you're going to take those lines with you, which is going to create space behind you, and then you look for that deep 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing 4 or 5 flat players at the top for Rose-Hulman. I mean, they got everybody pushed up, and Transylvania's got everybody behind the ball.
Well, these 2 holding 6s here are going to cause a lot of problems for Rose if they're going to try and pull anything deep as well. So, Messi is fantastic at that kind of stuff, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he can go through line after line after line just from quick give and goes, and just got to be super creative.
See the pressure. There's
Well, let's be honest. If any of these guys were Messi, they wouldn't be going to Rose-Hulman.
Yeah.
How old was Messi whenever Barcelona signed him? Was he 12?
I think so, yeah.
12.
Yeah.
He actually had a medical growth imbalance, which is the reason he's so small, and Barcelona agreed to pay for his medical bills.
I did not know that.
I am a wealth of useless knowledge.
I can confirm that. Transylvania playing the ball out of the back.
And see, now you see a little bit more dimension with Rose-Hulman's play.
So that's a good no call there. I like that. He almost got the referee's, took his hairline out. It's a good reaction for Central there, wasn't it? It almost makes me wonder if you guys don't have to do some training, that reaction time boxing training.
My wife throws cans of food at me, so I am very well versed.
Oh, that's the benefits of marriage.
McKibben scoops that up.
Really promising attack right there from Transy. Finding holes, finding passing lanes, and getting the ball into their box.
I love the tactical point here too. When the ball is in their attacking half, they are applying pressure.
Yeah.
Because they know that's their chance. So that's a great talk, I'm sure, from their coach at the halftime.
And you notice that now they all drop back.
Yep.
Really good job.
Yep. No, I love this. Not too many coaches that I can really fall in love with. This is I'm gonna have to be a fan here of Transylvania's coach. He's really found a way, especially when you're in a really rough situation with 10 players.
Lacey sending the ball in.
You feel, though, that Rose-Hulman is forcing play just a little bit much. I know Diata does have, he's got a lane, but he's got to make that run.
Yeah. Well, and Transylvania's doubling the outside too. If you notice, they're finding a double 2v1 situation on the wings like that. They're trying to show something. Don't give them this all the way to the corner.
Yep.
Let them come down to about the 30, and then we're going to shut that off.
Ryan Tar to Diata. Kirby sends the ball in. Actually, looked like trying to find a far post himself for 40 yards.
If that bends down a little bit, that's going to be a successful ball.
Wasn't far off. Hey, well done, boys! Eric Kirby, the senior from LaGrange, Kentucky. Excited for these seniors here for Rose-Hulman, leading 1-0 in the HCAC Tournament Championship game. Transylvania now trying to make something happen on the offensive side.
Boy, if he gets that touch off his laces, that's going to be over the top of that back line, and they would have had a good run at it.
Tar.
That was a very good tackle.
Diata tried to make the turn. Ball wasn't there. Was deflected, but Hofer able to get to it. Lacey now. Fix trying to get to the ball.
So do we know when you were talking about how many championships each team has been in? When was the last time Rose won one?
We will find that information out.
Yeah, I'm curious really for both these. Obviously, these guys have each other's numbers. They play each other all the time. It's going to be, again, biggest heart. And
yeah, the
Transylvania's got to pull a lot of triggers if they get the opportunity.
The last HCAC tournament championship game, Hanover won.
And there it is.
Wow.
There it is.
So beautiful ball from out wide. They didn't do a good job of defending that wide play for sure. Header. I have to ask, where was the keeper at on that one?
That was number 14, Ryan Tarr, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky.
Really good ball over the top. That's what they've been looking for the whole time, and they capitalized on that. Tremendous header to put it far post. Keeper was close, just picked the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, the header changed direction to play too, so they sent it in. Looked like he was going to try and maybe go central with it, and it just went back to the near post. It was nothing the keeper could do, but it's like I kind of lost him in the mix of all the ball coming in.
And if you're Rose-Hulman, that's a deep breath. You're 2 goals ahead. You're playing a man up. I think Coach Hellowell will feel.
And how about that for your defensive player too, your senior
And
defense?
This is going to be a yellow card for dissent. So I believe that a defender was spoken to in the first half regarding the emotion. And that resulted in a yellow card.
You hear the fans saying, "Give them a red." They're just lit up over there. We go into this game talking about how there's not many cards been handed out for these two teams, but again, it's tournament play. I mean, they're lit up.
And I think we've all played our last game, and we all remember our last game. And for the seniors, it's emotional, and you want to walk off the pitch knowing you gave everything.
Sure, yeah. They're turning this quickly. They're going to send really good numbers here.
Finds Diata. Slots it just over the post.
Well, if that isn't a training exercise, I don't know what is. That's what you just run that all the time in a training. They send 3 against 4 and see if you can't make things happen on the move.
And so you would think, being 2-0 down, if you're Coach Vogel, you are going to have to open the game up. And that's why we're seeing so many opportunities with Rose-Hulman. Because Transy can't sit back anymore, and hope for a tie.
Yeah, Transylvania, they started this second half doing a pretty good job. They settled in, and now Rose-Hulman just really looking alive.
Well, and really, so they look for just that one little second delayed trying to find feet, and then Rose closed it down quickly and got a deflection there. Another ball there. It seems like that's a second ball just kind of sailed from this side over here.
Urban just sent it over the top.
Transy a little bit more.
Transylvania settling now.
So he's not going to call that hands in a natural position. They don't really call those, right?
So the new rule is that if it does not lead to a goal, and it is in that position, is not a handball. If it does lead to a goal, then it is a handball.
Wow.
So the handball rule, FIFA has just made it worse.
Well, I mean, how many years? It wasn't too long ago. I think they changed that too, right?
It was 2 years ago,
Okay,
but then they've altered it again this year. And of course, high school has different rules than FIFA. So it's convoluted. I jokingly say I've read the laws of the game on handball numerous times, and I probably understand it 98%.
Well,
and that says something if you're a spectator trying to understand it.
Oh, sure, yeah. So what, handballs and offsides, I mean, those are two, you think, easily interpreted laws of the game, but it's, referee's decision at the end of the day, and so a lot of times I've seen everyone screaming handball, and the referee's just gonna say, "I'm not calling that. Let the play evolve here."
Yeah, and a lot of times, we talk about advantage. A referee will see that,
and that advantage can come back and really bite a team too. I've seen that a few times where referees allowed advantage when you had an opportunity to take a free kick. You kept a couple seconds go by and it turns into a counter for the other team.
Sure.
You're like, I didn't want the advantage.
But it's a win-win, lose-lose if you're an official, because you don't know whether the coach wants an advantage.
You can't see the future, and you got to make a call, and you can't. Yep, that's a great point.
All right, Ron, I've done some digging.
Oh,
I found your answer. You asked when the last time Rose-Hulman won the HCAC men's soccer tournament championship was 2015.
Okay.
So it's been 5 seasons or 6 years since Rose-Hulman's won that. They've won it in 2008, 2011, 2013, 14, and 15.
That was a good run. So a little bit of a dynasty run there.
And as we mentioned earlier, all of those wins under Coach Hellowell here at Rose-Hulman.
That was a good little step by to Wyatt. Just break that play up, stop the momentum.
Diata sends the ball through.
Good thought.
So you don't have the numbers to counter. So you've got to build up this play again. If I'm Transylvania, I'm like, yeah, you got 3 up top. Keep doing that. But you have nothing in the middle here, and you're lost. I've got to pull my 9 down and make it even make him a 10. Give him an attacking mid roll.
With
just
the
a
run.
connection.
Excellent run by Urban. Over the top. Almost headed back for an own goal. Great job by Urban just running back to disrupt play.
Now, looky here.
Seda. Save.
Tremendous save. Good hit by Jackson Seda. Great save by Gino Arena.
Seda just looking for that top corner.
Well, that literally kept them in the game. I mean, if that goes in the net, I think you can really start to relax.
Eric Kirby getting set here for this corner kick. 25 minutes left here in this second half. Kirby swings it in.
Well, this is the stuff I love to see. The corner kick comes in, and you see the back line just start to immediately, the moment the ball's cleared out of the box, that back line starts to trot out of the box. So many times in the youth levels or high school levels, they're going to sit there, they're going to camp, they're not moving out of the box. They're allowing those attacking players to remain deep off of a corner kick, and you're just giving them something that they don't need to have.
Kirby.
Why not? Yes, I'm having it here too, yes.
Excellent shot, just wide. You hear the fans over on that side cheering. They were excited. They thought I had a chance. You see Transylvania now with 3 substitutions coming in, trying to get some fresh legs.
That's what we were talking about in that first 5-10 minutes of the second half, which is, there was space at the top of that D. If one of those forwards or one of those midfielders would move up or move back, and that's exactly what Seda found there. I'm sorry, Kirby. found space and decided to take a hit.
So key subs here for Transylvania. Right about the 20-minute mark, and I'm thinking to myself too, I'm wondering tactically if the coach said at half, look, we're going to go so long where we're just going to be patient, but sooner or later we're going to have to just let things go.
Diata, great step over by Diata. You hear the fans. Drops it back to Kelly.
Zip, zag, bang.
Rose-Hulman leading 3-0. Takizo Kelly with his second goal of the night. Diata's step over on that far side to set that up was beautiful. As soon as he did that, you could hear the fans cheering him on, and then just drops it to Kelly, who, what do you think? And there he is pumping it up,
waving
for
to
the camera
at home. And you almost saw it, right? Diata too much time on the ball, and Kelly just drifted into that space, waiting for the ball to get to his foot.
And with that, Coach Hellowell substitutes and brings out Urban and Fix and celebrates with both of them whenever they come off the field. Fist bumps and pats on the back, and those two, we've talked about them all season long, and especially tonight. Just the wing play that they have is outstanding, and so it's excellent to see Coach over there congratulating them and just excited and saying, you know, you guys, you run this system for us, you help us out, and it's great to see.
Yep.
And on for Rose-Hulman, you've got number 2, Sam Alvarez, the senior from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it looks like on that far side, it's number 25, Jacob Dorenzo, the freshman from Frankfort, Illinois. We've seen these two in these positions before. Especially we saw it against Earlham a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
I think here Transylvania's just going to have to start holding the higher line defensively and just let it go. You're going to have to take some chances. You're not going to find the way past this Rose's back line with 2 players. You're just not going to be able to do it. Or 3 players for that matter. You're going to have to find a way to get your back line into this.
Alvarez, Seda, Kelly.
Here's a now if they can counter and deflate this team, they might have a chance.
Yep. Mitchell Christmas.
You're going to take it on a 4v1 situation. You're not going to have a lot of success there.
And, you know, he's all by himself. I mean, he made what he could of that run.
Yeah.
You know,
He
just
sold
ran
the
out of
foul.
space.
He also tried to sell the foul and get the call. And
Yeah.
can't blame him for that.
Take what you can.
A little bit of Robin in there. Yeah, see, I'm pushing my line all the way midline, taking that chance. Let them run.
Ron, in a situation like this, do you almost try to run a trap? You know, hold a high line and just try to play them off.
Yeah, or run a diamond and keep it almost like the old-fashioned sweeper system where you're at least getting some attack. You got to get some attacking in there.
Yeah, I think when, you know, they come out beginning of the half and they're only down 1.
Got the switch of play here for Transylvania. Oh, my goodness.
Alvarez to Diata. Seda.
This is it. No, nothing.
And Ron, anyways, we were talking about they come out second half. They put everybody behind the ball.
Yep.
You know, and they're hoping, they're trying. You know, they want one counterattack to get them back in the game. That's all they're hoping for. And then after they let that second goal in, you know, they got to change something. At this point, one counterattack's not going to do it.
Yeah, or you can continue with that philosophy until about 20 minutes, and then you got to say, okay, now let's start putting the pedal to the metal. We've got to start turning quicker. That being said, Rose isn't even letting the guys turn with the ball. I mean, they get the ball at their feet, they can't even turn. So they've got to have supporting angle play. The only way you're going to get that is by allowing that back line to step into play.
Kelly trying to make something happen. Transylvania collects.
Looks like Fusaro, Bednarik, and Kai Moore are going to be warming up as subs. the next substitution available.
So this, don't foul. You hear Coach Hallowell tell him no foul. This is on this last movement of the ball here, this last series. Transylvania stayed wide as the ball was coming from right to left, and because of that, they had that wide right option for play of switch, and they were able to get past the midline because of it. It's always important to stay wide when you've got the ball in possession.
McKibben. Tar playing it back.
And this is something, I know you're up 3 goals to 0 with 20 minutes left in the game, and one thing Rose doesn't want to do is get complacent. Because one or 2 goals and Transy's back into this.
Yeah, because these guys are going to continue playing. There's so much time left. It's ridiculous. They got plenty of time. You cannot just think they've in the bag here, because how many games I've seen where you've seen 3 goals in less than 4 minutes. I've been on the receiving end of that nonsense a few times, and just get too lackadaisical or a slip shot, and it will happen.
Alvarez.
Great turn. He put the gas on and was able to look. Here you go. Now you're through.
Drop back to Hofer.
And this is where I like Kelly dropping back to support, almost be that link between the front line and the midfield.
Dorenzo out wide.
So great coaching points from Hellwell here. He's subbing in players. He's saying, look, patience. Most importantly, recognize your time and space.
Yeah.
And you've got it because the other team's playing, they've got the tariffs on. They've got a lot of restrictions and just trying to maintain any attacking presence and keep that shallow play so they can't take a deep shot.
Transylvania trying to make something happen here with possession. Rose again, deep pressure. Giving him just a little bit of space there. Ball played over the top. McKibben just watching it go out. Going to be a Rose-Hulman goal kick. And substitutions now, as mentioned, Chris Fusaro, the senior from Chandler, Arizona, coming on. Also number 22, Travis Bednarik, the senior from Muskego, Wisconsin. And number 15, the freshman, Kai Moore. See Kelly coming off, Takizo Kelly, number 24. 2 goals this evening. Excellent game for him. Also coming off for Rose-Hulman's Zach Buvovich, the sophomore from Canton, Michigan. And number 14, the senior Ryan Tarr from Louisville, Kentucky. Got himself a goal here in this HCAC championship game as well, to go along with Kelly's other 2.
And we talk about the underclassmen that get playing time. Once these, when you take a sizable lead like this, and that's valuable experience for the younger players.
Oh, especially in a championship match. And that is how it's done. Off the chest, settle it, and clear it out of the box. Put an end to that nonsense right now. Well,
Pennsylvania still trying to make something happen offensively. Rose happy to just clear it away. Fusaro.
This is good play here.
Yeah, good physical play. Not over the top, just well played.
All the way back to McKibben.
McKibben almost making a goalkeeper run there.
Yeah, and actually that was what they gave him. I mean, he really didn't have anything else to do with the ball there. He had to take some space.
Diata back to Kirby. Seda to Diata. Back to Seda.
Boy, one less heart on the field for Transylvania, but they are playing like they haven't lost a man. I mean, they're really trying hard.
Yeah, and Rose just playing some tiki-taka possession now, and there's a through ball. Diatta couldn't get to it.
So on that build-up play, you have to admire Diatta's movement. He starts in his own half, passes the ball, and then the next thing he's 25 yards up the pitch, ready to move up.
Yeah, good point. That's the brilliance of that tiki-taka play, like Coach Jorgensen mentioned. I mean, when you see that start to evolve, you can make these delayed runs to help support that kind of an attack.
Fusaro has the ball to himself, keeps the run. It's going to be a corner kick here for Rose.
Well.
Just about 14 minutes left. Rose trying to add to their 3, leading in this HCAC championship match.
So one thing, credit to both teams at this point, right? So you look at Coach Hellawell, you're up 3-0, you're playing with 11 men versus 10. The class of not attacking. He's playing possession football. Again, very well played on him, as well as Transy's team as well.
Bednarik trying to get ahead on it. Going to go out for a throw in here for Rose.
Yeah, that's always, I mean, coming from, in my younger years coaching, they're starting out with new teams and they weren't very talented, and you'd always get in a situation where you're behind 9-0, and but the other coach says, okay, guys, let's just play possession. Let's not try and hit the net anymore, or you lay out a rule, say, okay, you got to get 15 touches on the ball before we take a shot, and all kinds of different things to try and be creative. But as a coach on the receiving end of that, my philosophy was, no, keep coming, because my guys aren't going to learn anything from this.
Certainly.
Keep hammering. I don't care if the score's 20 or nothing. Sooner or later we'll figure it out. But you've got to, because at that point you're taking away any learning process from these guys. Sure, they'll be a little deflated and it gets a little embarrassing, but I suppose it kind of depends on the age level of the kids and how you want to make that approach. You want to think it's respectful to put the brakes on, but at some point you want to say, we can't learn anything by just it's almost more embarrassing if you're making my kids chase the ball around.
Yeah.
Right? So it's so many different ways to look at that. This level though, yeah, I think there's a bit of respect. You got to say, okay, yeah, let's no need to. They got a dagger in their left gut, dagger in their left chin.
Number 12, Luke McCullough, the sophomore from St. Louis, Missouri, coming on. Number 19 for Rose-Hulman, Eric Kirby, the senior from LaGrange, Kentucky, getting a big round of applause. Senior captain. Coaches and players on the bench all standing up for him. Great job by Kirby today. Just does a wonderful job feeding that ball in. Great midfield player for the Engineers. Bednarik sending the ball down the line. Fusaro. Ball goes out.
I've noticed Fusaro's made a couple of really good runs, just bent, finding space over there. He scored, I think, in one of the games we did, Georgie. He wants to find the back of the net.
Yeah, does an excellent job running on the field. Chris Fusaro got a lot of speed. Diatta. McCullough tries to find Diatta again. Diatta, same place he did the step over, goes to his left foot.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
Ref waves that one off. Going to be a goal kick.
Fans wanted the penalty. That was a really well defended ball.
Yeah, Diatta in that position we saw earlier. He did the beautiful little step over, sent it to Kelly, back of the net. That time, tried to trick everybody and go to his left foot.
Yeah.
McCullough to Seda.
Great. Good way to come out. As a keeper, that's what you've got to do. You've got to come out and close that down, shorten the net.
And you have to be brave to come out because that's a lot of man and muscle coming at you with speed.
Oh, keepers,
Really
man, they
good job.
don't get enough credit. They got to take a lot of collisions in.
Yeah, Gino Arena now, he's got his hands on his knees. He's trying to catch his breath after that. He can knock the wind out of him, but he's ready for another.
Well, we keep doing sign language about it, but I just can't. I got to call it out. We're seeing lightning off in the distance here, and it's flashing. I mean, I don't know how far it is, but.
Well, I actually just looked at my weather device, and it's south of Bloomington, so
It's a ways away, yeah.
At this been Transylvania with an opportunity here.
Stand him up, he says. Don't let him. Yep. Don't give him any space.
Transylvania trying to make something happen. The cross. Bednarik heads it away.
And he's going to, tries the one time. It
just steps in front. Transylvania not giving up, trying to make something happen.
Well, a goal here is going to put a needle in their bubble, and you might have to put some starters back out there.
See Bednarik with that slide tackle. Some more Rose-Hulman substitutions. Number 16, Colin Featherby, the junior from Corpus Christi, Texas. Number 8, Tyler Foster, the senior from La Mesa, California. And number 5, Zachary Stolberg, the sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana. Coming off for the Engineers, the senior, number 18, Wyatt McKibben from Yorkville, Illinois. Number 21, Jackson Seda, the freshman from Frankfort, Illinois. And number 10, Brevin Lacey, the senior from Bothell, Washington. Congrats to all these seniors here on Rose-Hulman. Great way to end their senior year, winning an HCAC Conference Tournament Championship. They haven't been around long enough to win one themselves, so a great way to go out.
Oh, yeah.
8 minutes left. Rose-Hulman still leading 3-0.
And the second team coming in really has to. It's kind of a lot of pressure there. I mean, you don't want to be the team that lets something come back in, right? To keep them out. But it's also a great learning experience for those guys. They got to find their nerves.
And once again, I would like to take this opportunity to say hi to Neil, who is watching us in Mali, Africa, in the capital city of Bamako. So, Neil, hope you're well.
You've got connections, man.
I know a few people around the world.
Is this a referee?
This is not. This is a cousin who is working in Mali.
Well, hello. Wonder how the weather is there in Africa.
It is constantly 90 and sunny, so he said it's a desert all the time.
Set piece here for Transylvania.
Boy.
Over the top. That's the beautiful thing about the Indiana Sports Network. You can watch Rose-Hulman College soccer or any of the other coverage from anywhere in the world. So it's cool to know that Neil's watching. Neil and I went to high school together. In my class, we played soccer together. One of the things Neil was proud of was his visit to the world's largest ball of twine. That was something that I think he did even in middle school, and he always talked about that.
Here's a good delayed run from the outside here. What a
good
50
slide tackle by
tackle there.
Transylvania.
Good stuff.
And Hofer just collects. Just about 6.5 minutes left here. Bednarik.
Yeah, you just kind of see in Transylvania just starting to just kind of go through the motions. It's not saying they've completely bled out yet, but surely they're tired. They're defeated mentally, and again, just going to go through the motions. Try not to let anything else in the net for sure, though. Here,
Alvarez tries to find Diata.
Also, another international shout out to senior George Bolger, who is actually doing a co-op in Japan and is watching from Japan right now in his early morning hours. He will be returning to play this fall. So, George, you should be proud of your teammates. They played a heck of a game.
Ball played out of the back. Rose-Hulman just about 5 minutes left here before they can claim the HCAC Men's Soccer Championship. They won the regular season and now leading 3-0 in the tournament.
The flag stayed down on
Ball
that.
played in, headed
What a
on.
header.
Sam Alvarez wanted that bad. Just goes wide. Excellent, excellent cross by number 25, Jacob Dorenzo. Sam Alvarez, the senior, trying to make it happen. I believe we saw him score a couple of goals against Earlham, maybe just one.
Well, the wide play for both teams today has been fantastic. I mean, it's just taking people to school on both sides, and the balls delivered in are just targeted. I mean, a few have sailed, but for the most part, just about every ball has been right where it needs to be.
And when you watch these teams, both Transylvania as well as Rose-Hulman, you know why this championship is Transylvania and Rose-Hulman, because they both deserve to be here. You watched Garrett Dean just come off exhausted, ran his legs off. And so, credit to the Pioneers and, to your point, Ron, the heart that they've given in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, even, now that we're 3-0, looking back at that call that came out early, I think you can say safely that wasn't a make or break situation. Even going down with the 10 players, they still had a chance. But they, Rose finding the net a couple more times just took that all out of the way entirely.
And that was a tremendous defensive tackle by, I believe that was Ben Davis. Risky, but he had to go in or the player was through on goal, got the ball, kicked it out for a corner, but really good tackle.
And that was Jacob Dorenzo trying to make something happen, just unable to. Ball played back in, headed on.
Yeah, good driven ball near post.
Going to be another corner kick here for the Engineers. Ball played in. Excellent swinging corner. Bednair tried to make it happen. Dorenzo does get ahead on it. Alvarez sends it back to Foster. Just a couple of minutes left here in this championship game between Transylvania and Rose-Hulman. And we just, again, want to thank the sponsors of today's game. A+ Printing, Farm Bureau Insurance, Micah Bonomo, Ocean H&R Block, Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, Serve Pro, Shaw Chiropractic, Sonic Drive-In, Union Health, and York Automotive. Transportation for Indiana Sports Network is provided by York Automotive with 5 locations in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. And camera operators for today's game giving you these wonderful shots: Paige Lockmiller, Kanan Harper, and Braxton Sampson.
Ooh. Well, that was some tactical play by Rose there, trying to find the extra pass to make things happen. And
just pulled down, goes into the goalkeeper's hands. The director and executive producer of Indiana Sports Network is Tony Harper.
And these boys make a long trip back to Lexington, Kentucky. They've got nothing to be ashamed of. They've played really, really well.
Yeah.
Conducted themselves with class. Really gave it everything they had.
You see Kai Moore playing the ball in. Diata.
There you go.
Fusaro. Diata. Just over the top.
What year is he?
Diata's a freshman.
Man, I'm telling you what, this player is going to be lights out by his senior year. I mean, can you not see the potential there?
So I was just thinking, Ron, it's funny you say that. I was just thinking as Jackson Seda moves on and graduates, that front three is going to be Kelly and Diata.
Yeah.
That is going to be something special.
Oh, man.
With June.
You've got
Because he
Featherby
can
up top
dance on the
here,
ball.
junior.
That's the right ball. I mean, even though you don't have anything on that back line, he was in a situation where he had 4 players there. He couldn't turn into it.
And time winds down. Rose-Hulman Fight Engineers win the HCAC Conference Championship Tournament by 3-0, out shooting their opponents tonight 20-5. Congratulations to all of Rose-Hulman. And following a commercial break, we're going to be back to see some awards and players of the game. We're going to get some banners. We're going to see the HCAC champions crowned. So excited to see that right after this break.
4 years ago, I drove my daughter to Riddell National Bank, where she opened her savings account. Today, she's still saving money. My relationship with Riddell is better than ever, too. No other bank focuses on relationships as much as they do. I can count on them for small business loans when I need them. Riddell National Bank helps small business owners and their families grow, both financially and personally. Riddell National Bank, making friends since 1885.
In Searcy, Arkansas, a young man says I love you for the first time, but his girlfriend doesn't quite hear. In Franklin, Tennessee, a boy encounters his first pickle. And in Kyle, Texas, after a mission for tots, cousins realize they're a long way from Kyle, Texas. One day, many people, millions of orders. This is Howie Sonic.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
Big lights.
Welcome back here to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where we just watched the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers defeat the Transylvania Pioneers 3-0 to claim the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference Tournament in men's soccer. An exciting game. I'm Dustin Jorgensen, joined by Eric Brown and Ron Kernicki. There you're getting a shot of the Rose-Hulman men's soccer team, the HCAC Conference Tournament champions. Going to get a couple of pictures. And guys, what did you think about the end of that game, that second half?
They didn't lose a game all season. That's a tremendous feeling. They played it with class. They played it well. They went in with a 1-0 lead and really capitalized with those 2 extra goals, which just sealed the victory for them and kind of took the winds out of the opponent's sails.
Yeah, seeing the smiles on the players' faces down there as they take those pictures. That's what it's about all season long. That's what you play for. And, as the Engineers, as you said, they didn't lose a game all season. They had that draw against Hanover. And I think when they came into this game tonight, they wanted to prove, that, hey, we're unbeaten for a reason. And we are conference champions. We didn't just win the regular season title, but we're tournament champions too. We can do this.
Yep.
Sure. Well, and you've got a lot of compressed play. They didn't no fall season, right? So you come in and you start around March, get a bunch of games in, try and make as much happen as you can. So training, the intensity levels at training, but coming into this, I thought it's going to be which team has the biggest heart, who's going to impose their training on the other team.
And a great look there of your HCAC Conference Tournament champions. A good look at all the guys. So just kind of soak this in here for the HCAC Conference Tournament champions. Again, Takizo Kelly, 2 goals in this game. Ryan Tarr, the senior, able to add a goal for himself. Great for not just a senior, but a defensive player. Really, really cool to watch Rose-Hulman not only win this game, but just able to kind of cruise in the second half and enjoy it. You know, let those seniors enjoy it, the ones that were on the field, the ones that got subbed off, the ones that got subbed on. And there you can kind of see them having a little bit of fun now as they are crowned HCAC champions.
Well, this is what you work for. I mean, you're putting it all season long. You're working hard. This is the moment. I mean, you've got to cherish this moment. And
the
again,
hours of practice, the hours that you put on, the hours of drilling, the balance between the workload and school load that these kids carry versus
that's a great point. I mean, you've got some athletes that just say I can't, and they have to back off the team because you've got to prioritize school. That's a great point. I mean, there's a lot of pressure there on these guys to step up and try and make things happen. But again, you've really seen which team's training atmosphere. You're going to try and impose that training atmosphere on the other team, and you just seen it. I mean, it's just strategic.
Some excitement now
by Rose
got
from once the ball started rolling until the end.
The captains, Brevin Lacey, Eric Kirby, and Ryan Tarr, now handing out the conference championship shirts. So the nice HCAC champions shirts, if you can get a nice look here on the cameras and see these Rose-Hulman players, they're putting the shirts on. You see Kelly, he gets his shirt on real quick. He's proud of that and excited. A big part of the championship, the leading scorer for the Engineers all season. He ended the regular season with 8 goals and 4 assists. He added 2 more, so got to double digits before it's all said and done. And conference champions. It was exciting to see Kelly after every game, after every goal, look at the camera. There he is dancing and excited now. So as we see these players get these shirts distributed and celebrate, hopefully all the family members watching at home, you can pick out your player, your son, your nephew, your friend, whoever. There we go, a great shot. There's Sam Alvarez, the senior, giving us a good look of that HCAC championship tournament game. Again, Sam, the senior from Colorado Springs. Awesome shot we're able to get there as the Rose-Hulman team celebrates this conference championship.
Well, great recruiting class for sure.
Tremendous. But one thing that I've noticed seeing this team game after game is you talked about Kelly and how he smiles after every goal. But these kids love to play. I mean, they love the game. And that's what you can't teach is that love and that drive for the game. And these kids have a good time.
Well, character is everything. When a coach would rather recruit great character and great work ethic than bring in a great, fantastic player who's going to potentially cause hazardous disruption mentally for the team.
There's the great characters you talked about now. A good shot of the team with their HCAC conference champion shirts on, and we're getting ready to see the trophy be presented here to the Fighting Engineers. Always exciting to watch a good soccer celebration and trophy presentation. They're just not quite like anything else.
So where do we go from here, Georgie? I mean, how's the system here work in the HCAC?
I think it's going to depend on the other conferences and if they had a fall season or a spring season. I'm not sure what
a lot of variables there
would be. You hear the HCAC representative speaking to the team now. We hear Ryan Tarr now winning an award here for the HCAC. Great job for that senior captain to get an individual award. Again, Ryan Tarr from Louisville, Kentucky. Great job for that senior. Got a goal here in this conference championship game. Good smile there, the HCAC representative. And now the captain's going to receive the trophy for this championship tournament win. Brevin Lacey getting a hold of it. And here we go. Holding it down.
There is your HCAC championship Rose-Hulman team.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm getting cold chills and goosebumps just watching that. It's exciting. Doesn't matter what tournament championship. Now you got the other captain, Kirby.
So this is a FIFA thing, right? I mean,
now Ryan Tarr, the other captain, all three getting their chance. Just really cool, great celebration, something that's kind of unique to the sport and always exciting, always neat to see. So we talked about the fantastic characters that we have on Rose-Hulman. We're three characters. We're not fantastic characters. We're just three characters.
We're elevated, though.
Very exciting to be able to cover Rose-Hulman soccer all season long. An amazing, amazing job by the Rose-Hulman team. Congratulations to them. Coach Hellewell, what a wonderful job. I'm Dustin Jorgensen, was joined here again by Eric Brown, Ron Kernicki. We are the Indiana Sports Network. Have a wonderful night.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
You're watching Rose-Hulman Soccer on the Indiana Sports Network. Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News and World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 20 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.